Hello everyone, the Postman. So in order to do that, I have created first application in C Sharp. So first class is robot that I needed was the ID. Second is name. Description is move command. Then the created date. When was the command created? And modified date. And then I have created a constructor. So the class name and the constructor name needs to be same in order to do that. And then whatever the parameters I have given, I have equated them to the particular instance. So this is the first class. And now moving on to this was the robot command class file. And then I have the other one, which is the map file and the column property. So, and the rows. So I end up giving the name of the rows double time W. And then I have the description. I have created date, modified date, and same the constructor and the parameters passed on to it. And then equating those parameters, talking about what kind of instance I'm particularly using at that period of time. Then, in order to create a full web API, what I mean by that is you have to have a controller. So, what a controller is nothing but a class which has all the HTTP requested handled onto it. And then we have something called a model class. What a model class basically is that it talks about taking the data and data inputs and what kind of data validation it does. So let's look into that. So firstly, I have some is using the model view controller. It is a type of architecture that what we are dealing with, what we have dealt with in order to create our full web API. So firstly, I have told that all those things would be inside the API controller. Then I have assigned it a particular route. So this is a base route. And if you wanted to access anything, you had to type this thing after the URL, whatever you are getting after the .NET. So what I mean by that is write .NET run. You're getting a particular URL. Just wait a few seconds. So you get a URL HTTP localhost 5014, and after it you have to write the API back / robot hyphen commands in order to get the access onto this web API. So firstly, the class is this is nothing but my controller. So I have named my class to be command controller, and I am inheriting the property from the controller base. Now it helps by defining certain kind of things like bad request, okay request, all those things are predefined. So whatever if a few kind of commands that I end up writing on the postman doesn't seems to be working, it will automatically generate those errors on the Postman console, making it much more simpler that I don't have to write too much onto it. Then talking about that, I have created a list called the robot commands where I have assigned like the first ID have command name left, a description. Then we have whether the command is whether I am moving to the left, so I have assigned it to be true, and the created date, which I was talking about earlier. Just a second here. So is there's a boolean property, and then I have the created date command. So when I have created it, I have taken the date to be now, and again when was it modified, I have said the whatever the modification was done, it was done at a particular period of time, which is currently. Then I have which the controller class needs to be dealing with the HTTP request. So we have the HTTP GET request where I have assigned this function, which is get all commands, and it returns all these commands that we have assigned earlier. So all these four commands will be returned whenever I am uh, getting accessing the GET request. And what else we have? We have get move. So if I end up writing the move over there after this URL, this particular HTTP URL, and I end up writing the move command particularly, which will be our third command. We will be testing all these just in a bit. Then I have the HTTP, TTP get. In that, I had just had to mention a particular ID, which will be after the get robot commands. And after that, all those things are handled like what kind of actions I'm taking. I'm taking the ID from the user, and it will be matching the ID in my list. And after matching the ID, it will be telling me, okay, it actually existed, and it will be providing me the JSON file for that, or JSON command for that. And then I have this post. So in the post, we will be dealing with creating a new ID, and that is done if the command actually existed. It will be saying like it is actually existing, and if it doesn't exist, then it will be adding another ID onto it. And then I have the put in which we update the original ID. So it takes the ID and it takes the command, whichever we will be writing onto the body, and then we will be selecting the JSON. And after that, we have the delete command in here. So if we wanted to delete, we have to provide it with the ID, and if the ID existed, if the ID doesn't actually exist, so it will be removing. If it doesn't exist, the else command will be working. It will be saying no, not found. Then the same is done inside the map controller. I have created a list of 10 maps of different sizes. All of those are square. And same, I have given it a name, and then I have talked about the when it was created and the modified it. Same the get command, then it will be checking whether it is square. So if I end up writing square onto the postman after the root, which is this, and if I end up writing the square in that, so it will give me all the columns which are a perfect square map. And if I end up changing some value in here and not creating it or not making it a square, so it will not be giving me that value. And after that, I have the HTTP GET, and that I am again providing the ID, and then it will be checking whether the ID actually exists. Then it will be, if it actually exists, it will be giving me the map. Otherwise, it will be throwing an exception. And the same happens with the post. We had to update a new JSON file onto it. I can do that. And input, I had to update the value. So let's look all those things onto the Postman so that the implementation was successful. Let's copy this URL. Okay, just a second. Copying the URL. Copy it. Going to the Postman. So let's go with the get command, the most basic one. So what was the root? So the API robot command was the root. So let's send it and hopefully we'll see it. So yes, yeah, I thought it wasn't going to look pretty, but it does. So as you can see, we have four particular um, values inside our list. So I out is it move command and is the boolean true or false, whether that is that particular thing I have already assigned in it. So let's go with the post command. I'm copying this and I'll be changing few things. So let's go with the post command and let's go with the body and then the raw file. So it's just a second. So we already had around 4. Now let's go with 5 and let's give it a name. What do we don't have it here? So let's go with jump. And that's it. Jump the robot. Then let's leave Okay, it is created and let's one. So it is there. So we have successfully executed this. Let's, so earlier I said about, okay, we are supposed to write the ID. So it is, and let's modify it with 1. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, and go to the put, and then let's go with get, and let's get our fifth one. So as you can see, it says left instead of jump. So we have seen it is successfully implemented. For the robot commands, let's do with the map. So what was the route for the map? Let's look into that. So the route for the map was API maps. Let's go with that. Okay, so just removing this and right. Okay, maps, not map yours. Okay, hopefully we got and so on up till then. Let's go with the post and let's create an 11th one. Okay, giving it something new, copy and pasting. Let's go with the 11th and say like the area size should be 1000. Go with 1000. It's the map 11th and let other things be normal as other. So let's hopefully it works. Yes, it's working. As you can see, let's get it like whether we can actually see all those things. And just a second. Yeah, whether why can't I see it? Okay, let's go 11. Yeah, I haven't mentioned that. Command get turns on it once this seems to be a glitch or something. So get and it should be showing 10. It says it has created the 11th one as well. So the thing that I did here, let's write static because I don't have to create an instance, which means an object in order to update it. So let's run this. Hopefully it should be making it work and we will be getting 11. So let's post the 11th one and let's get the 11th one. And hopefully it should be giving me 11. So there you go. That was wrong with it. So let's go with the put and change the 11th one to, let's just change the size of it to 1. Let's go with map 1. So get it, get all the, you can see the column size is 1 and the rows are 1. So this is how class to deal with it. So thanks for watching the video.